UFC 316 goes down this Saturday night, and it features the rematch, part two. Merab Dvalishvili versus the Sugar Show Sean O'Malley for the bantamweight division title. Also, another title on the line in the women's bantamweight division. Okay, you got Juliana Pena taking on Kayla Harrison. And if Kayla Harrison wins, we might see the return of Amanda Nunes. So if you want you want the Lioness back, we got to see Kayla Harrison win this fight. There's also a bunch of other great fights on this card, like Vicente Luque versus Kevin Holland. You got a bunch of good fights in the prelims. Patchy Mix is making his UFC debut. You're not going to want to go anywhere because we're getting into several fight predictions and previewing the entire card at UFC 316. Next.
Broadcasting live from an undisclosed location. This is the TCMMA Podcast with your host, Chris Cross.
Whoa!
Dana White privilege.
Let's go, baby! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, baby!
Dana White privilege. Privilege.
Welcome to the TCMMA Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Cross, and it's going down today because we got one item on the agenda, and that's to preview and make some predictions for UFC 316. And it's a big one. It's a big one. This entire summer is going to be live. You got, three big pay-per-view events, finalizing and capping off with Dricus du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev in August. But before we even go any further into those topics, we got to talk about UFC 316. That's the primary focus today. And there's some big fights on this card. I mean, it starts off quick, right? With Quillan Saw killed and Yanal Ashamus. That's Australia versus Israel. That goes down. First fight of the night, lightweight division. Okay. So when you're starting off a card in the lightweight division, you already know what type of night this is going to be. Then you got Jika Sergi from Indonesia taking on Yu from South Korea, a guy that's undefeated. So that's going to be a big fight. You got Ariane Da Silva, 17-10 from Brazil, taking on Wang Kong from China. She's new to the game, really, just 7-1. Then as you work your way up into the prelims, Chaos Williams, are you serious? Taking on Uros Medic. Tell me you don't want to see that fight. I mean, that's going to be a big one live on ESPN. Then you got Sergey Spivak versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. You should know that's a heavyweight fight. And then a bunch of others like Azamat Murzakanov versus Brenson Ribeiro. Light heavyweight, Bruno Silva and Joshua Van in the flyweight division. So these are all fights we're not going to make predictions on. Of course, we got the individual predictions on the YouTube channel / at TCMMA Podcast. If you're listening in places like Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts or anywhere else you get your podcasts, check us out on YouTube for fight by fight predictions for every fight. But as we dive into this thing, we got a lot to talk about in the lead up. The first fight we're going to get into is a big welterweight division fight between Vicente Luque, who's been struggling, almost like a Beneil Dariush in the lightweight division. This guy has been struggling, but he's a Brazilian. He's still 23-10. He's taken on the loudmouth, I like to call him, in a good way. I love it. Kevin Holland, 27-13 from America. And Kevin Holland is the favorite in this fight, but it's not because Vicente Luque can't fight. It's only because he's struggled up to this point. So let's waste no more time and get into the first prediction of the night. Roll it. In the welterweight division at UFC 316, a main card fight. Vicente Luque takes on Kevin Holland. A fight that has big implications for sure because both guys got a lot of losses. Vicente Luque, 23-10 from Brazil. Kevin Holland, 27-13 from America. He's a slight favorite. He's 4 inches taller at 6'3". He's 32. Vicente, 33. Holland, about a 5-inch reach advantage. Both guys stand right-handed. Vicente, 5.1 significant strikes per minute. Holland, 4.2 per minute. So Vicente's more active on the feet, or is he? Right? He also lands one takedown every 3 rounds. Holland, one every 4. Big story in this fight is that Vicente Luque is slowing down, right? But he did beat Themba Gorimbo in the last fight by submission, right? Wasn't playing around. Came in and got that done in about 52 seconds. Lost to Joaquin Buckley, excuse me, by second round KO. Beat RDA. Lost to Jeff Neal and Bilal Muhammad. So he's 1-2 of the last 3, kind of staying in it, but he struggled in some of those fights. Holland, 54% takedown defense. That could be a problem. Beat Gunnar Nelson by decision last time out. Lost to Rainier de Ritter. Obviously, he's really good by submission. Roman Dolage by first round KO. And he did beat Mikhail Alexichuk by submission. So both guys are losing some fights. Both guys staying relevant. It makes for a very tough prediction. But I'm a guy that likes having Kevin Holland. I root for him, right? When you're facing a Brazilian, obviously, as you hear me say, don't invite Brazil to the party. This fight's in America, in Newark, New Jersey, and you're inviting the Brazilian in, and that's always a tough situation. But I'm going against the odds here, or going against the grain in terms of what I normally do. And I'm going to lean towards Kevin Holland to get the win here. Despite all the numbers, I like the heart in this guy. I still think he's obviously very active, right? Going all the way back to 2020, this guy fights multiple times per year, and I like it. And I'm rooting for him. I want to see him get the win, and I think he does. But it's going to be a very tough fight all the way to the last bell, if you will. But he'll win 2 rounds out of 3 in a very close fight to move to 28-13. He'll outpace Vicente despite the average, and he'll defend takedowns pretty well. Give up 1, but win the other 2 rounds on strikes, in my opinion, here in the welterweight division at UFC 316. So that's the key, right? Defend takedowns. Kevin Holland can give up 1 takedown and lose a round. Maybe give up 1 or several more. As long as he gets out of it pretty quickly, I think he's going to win this fight on the feet. So it's very important for Kevin Holland here, if you think he's going to win this fight, that he has to defend takedowns and defend takedowns successfully, and that's the basis for that prediction. Now, jumping up to fight number 4, bantamweight division. You got Mario Bautista. We already know what he's about. The guy's 15-2, American, but he's the underdog here against newcomer Patchy Mix. The guy's 20-1, and he's coming in with all types of accolades, and he's the favorite in this fight, in his UFC debut. We have no idea what to expect when guys cross over from other promotions. We have no idea what to expect. Michael Chandler had some success early, and now you're starting to see how things go over time. I mean, especially when you're talking about bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, you cross over into UFC, and you're getting into the gauntlet, man. Because Mario Bautista's a bad dude, but he's the underdog. So let's jump into this fight right now. In the middleweight division at UFC 316, you got Mario Bautista taking on Patchy Mix, and I like this matchup, right? You got a guy was the champ in Bellator. The guy's 20-1. Mario Bautista 15-2. USA versus USA, and Patchy Mix is replacing Marlon Vera. Okay, Patchy 2 inches taller, 5'11". Both guys 31. Mix 3-inch reach advantage. Both guys switch stance fighters. I like that. Now we know Bautista 5.3 significant strikes per minute, 2 takedowns every 3 rounds, so he's legit. That's why he's 15-2. Stops 2 out of 3 takedowns, 66% takedown defense. And this guy has won 7 in a row. Hasn't lost since Trevin Jones back in 2021. So both guys haven't lost for years. That's the first thing we got to know. Okay, 7 straight wins. Most recently, Jose Aldo by split decision, Ricky Simon decision. And Jose Aldo could make the case he won that fight. He led by 2 significant strikes, so it was very close. Bautista dominated Ricky Simon on the feet, but gave up 2 takedowns. So look out, because Patchy Mix is a guy, remember, 20 wins. He's a guy that can submit you. 13 submissions in 20 wins, right? That means 2 out of 3 times he wins fights, they're by submission. He's got 2 KOs, 5 decisions. Guy hasn't lost since September of 2020 against Juan Archuleta. Since then, he's run off 7 wins. So key differences here. Mario Bautista has won 7 in the UFC. Okay, keep that in mind. Patchy Mix has won 7 in a row as well, but in Bellator. Normally, I'm going against a Bellator fighter because I'm saying the wins by Bautista are in the UFC, and he's beaten Jose Aldo, Ricky Simon. But listen, Patchy Mix is 20-1. He's no slouch either. And if you're going to have fought anywhere other than the UFC, Bellator is at least giving you some quality opponents. Not at the same level as the UFC, but he's beaten all of them except one, right? Especially over the last 5 years, he's beaten all of them, more or less. So I'm leaning with Patchy Mix here. It's one of those things we're not going to know a lot about Patchy Mix, even if you like the guy and know him really well in terms of his fighting. You don't know till he steps foot in the UFC. But I'm taking a chance here, okay, on Patchy Mix because I mean, we know Bautista is very capable of winning, but I'm looking at this guy's record and saying 20-1, and he's been winning at Bellator, so I give that some credibility. I got to take a chance on him. I don't know. He might get the submission. Takedown game's going to be ridiculous. Bautista can't stop it. Okay. Ricky Simon was taking him down at will. Patrick Mix is going to do the same thing. Mix wins by either submission or decision, in my opinion. Bantamweight division, UFC 316. It's always tough for us in these situations because when a guy's making his UFC debut, you really, again, don't know what to expect. So we're going out on a limb here. I mean, we look at the guy's record and we say 20-1, and that's phenomenal. But he's facing again Mario Bautista, a real UFC fighter with some experience, and he's only lost 2 fights in his career. So it's not going to be easy for Patchy Mix in the debut. But we got to believe at 20-1, he is very capable of getting the job done. And then that sets up an even bigger fight because if he wins this one, and especially if he wins it convincingly, they're going to fast track this guy pretty quickly. Make no mistake about it. Now in fight 3, another big one, middleweight division. Kelvin Gastelum, a crowd favorite always, taking on Joe Pyfer, who is the big favorite in this fight, despite Kelvin Gastelum winning 20 fights in his MMA career, but he's lost 9. Pyfer 13-3. This is a big one, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the beginning of the live watch party in the first fight. So let's dive into this one right now. In the middleweight division at UFC 316, you got Kelvin Gastelum taking on Joe Pyfer. And this is fight 3. It's a big fight. Pyfer, a slight favorite. He's 13-3 fighting out of America. So is Kelvin Gastelum, but he's 20-9. So he's got, quite a bit more losses, which happens as you climb the ladder. Now Pyfer, 5 inches taller at 6'2". That's and this happens a lot to Kelvin Gastelum. He's always going to be the shorter guy, right? He's 33. Pyfer's 28. Gastelum 1 inch reach advantage. He fights left-handed. Pyfer fights right-handed. Now both guys right about 3.7 significant strikes per minute, and both guys get like 1 takedown every 3 rounds. Although Pyfer's, lands slightly more takedowns than Gastelum on average, but both guys about 1 every 3 rounds. Gastelum coming off a big win over D-Rod, right? Looked good in that one. Trailed in significant strikes by 15, 127-112, but 4 takedowns to none. Got him the win. He lost to Sean Brady by submission, okay. Beat Chris Curtis, so he's won 2 of the last 3. Pyfer beat Marc-Andre Barriault by first round KO last time out. Before that, he lost to Jack the Joker Hermanson, okay. And he beat Abdul Razak Al Hassan by submission and Gerald Mearshart by KO, so he's won 3 of the last 4. And man, this is a tough one. But I'm leaning towards Joe Pyfer. I mean, the guy's 13-3. Yes, he's lost 3 fights, but he's lost to Dustin Stoltzfus at the Contender Series by KO, so we know how good he is. Jack the Joker Hermanson, so he's like 7-8-1 coming into the UFC, and he's won 5 of 7, including 5 of the last 6. So he's only getting better. And again, he's just 28, so he's starting to get closer to that peak form. And as much as I like Kelvin Gastelum, I got to lean towards Joe Pyfer here to get the win. I just think he's getting better and better every time we see him. Gastelum, we kind of know what we're going to get. So I like Pyfer to get the win here by decision, close fight, 29-28, unanimous. He'll win 2 rounds. to move to 14-3, middleweight division, UFC 316. Yeah, so we'll take Joe Pyfer in that one, but we think it's going to be pretty close, right? That's why we're saying 29-28. So there is a possibility that Kelvin Gastelum in one of those other two rounds, which is going to be decisive. There's going to be one round where Joe Pyfer looks great. There's going to be another one where Kelvin Gastelum wins, obviously, if it's 29-28, but then there's going to be that middle tier round. You never know if it's the first, second, or third that's going to decide the fight. And we think Joe Pyfer is going to do just enough to get the job done. But please understand what we're saying. It's not going to be easy. That's for sure. Now, as we dive into the co-main event, oh my goodness, you got Juliana Pena taking on Kayla Harrison. But before we jump into that, we got to talk about how we got here. Here's a reaction to Juliana Pena winning the title. Check this out.
48-47, Pennington. Or Pena, now Pennington. Final judge. Oh my God, 48-47. Close. Round one, I'm telling you. And no! Yeah! Pena stole the belt and Pennington cannot believe it. She cannot believe it.
Yeah, and the toughest thing for Pennington in that fight is that you're not going to get another chance for a while. I mean, you're going to have to really work your way back up. And I think, with Nunes going out, you were able to capture the belt. But now reality is setting in. Pena gets the belt back. And we might have a belt to switch his hands a few times here because you also got Kayla Harrison looking really good thus far in her career. But this is UFC 300, right? A huge night. Her debut taking on the veteran Holly Holm. And this is how this fight finished. And Harrison just building up control time now against the fence. Looking for the takedown. She takes the leg out. Goodness gracious. Kayla Harrison just dominated, making my prediction look worthless right now. And Holly Holm is in all sorts of trouble. She's on the ground. Now she's giving up the back. You can't give up the back. You cannot give up the back. Oh. Come on. Harrison pounding away. She got the legs wrapped around, stretched out. Oh, this is not looking good as she taps quick. Holly Holm is finished. And I'm a believer now. I am a believer now. She's going to be 17-1 and got a win over Holly Holm, and she is much bigger than I thought. I mean, she is much bigger. When you look at her shoulders and her physique, standing next to Holly Holm, it's like, how are they the same weight? So Kayla Harrison is going to be a problem. 50-0 in significant strikes. Unbelievable. 50-0. Think about I don't care what age Holly Holm is. That's a dominant performance by Kayla Harrison. And I'm a believer. I'm a believer. Women's bantamweight division. UFC 300. Yeah, so that put us in the belief column, right? Because we thought Holly Holm would defend and hold serve. And then it's kind of one of those predictions where you're like, I'm not so sure here, but Kayla Harrison's got to prove something to me. So until she does, well, now she has. Came in the next fight, got a nice decision victory. And here we are for the title. This is arguably going to be the toughest fight for her so far. But it's one that she believes she can win. But do we believe she can win? This is for the title. Anything can happen. So let's jump into this fight prediction right now. In the women's bantamweight division, your co-main event for the women's bantamweight division title. You got current champ Juliana Pena coming in at 13-5, taking on contender Kayla Harrison, who comes in at 18-1. Just an awesome professional MMA record there. So can Juliana Pena stop the train? That's the bottom line. Let's get into it. Kayla Harrison is 2 inches taller at 5'8". She's 34. Pena is 35. Pena, 3-inch reach advantage, 69-66. She fights right-handed. Kayla Harrison fights left-handed. Now, Kayla Harrison is much more active on the feet. 4.9 significant strikes per minute to 3.3 for Pena. Also, the takedown game leans towards Kayla Harrison. And she's got limited stats in the UFC right now. So these numbers may come down in this fight, but she's landing nearly one takedown per round to Pena's 1 takedown every other round. So it's somewhat close in terms of takedowns, but still, Kayla Harrison has the edge. And Pena just a 23% takedown defense. Kayla Harrison hasn't given up a takedown yet. Perfect 100% takedown defense. Now, Pena's won 2 of the last 3, including a huge win by submission over Amanda Nunes. But Amanda Nunes came back in the second fight and got the victory and rode out into the sunset with 6 takedowns and led 85-60 in significant strikes. Pena had no takedowns. Then for the belt against Rockwell Pennington, it was 92-92 in significant strikes, so very close. 2 takedowns to none is what led to the split decision victory. So very close fight with Pennington. So Kayla Harrison so far in the UFC has been perfect, beating Holly Holm by submission. That came in the second round, just dominated her in that fight, 51-2 in significant strikes, 2-0 in takedowns. It would be the same way against Ketlin Vera, 2-0 in takedowns, 55-24 in significant strikes. So she's just dominated on the feet. I don't see any reason why this fight will be any different. I think Juliana Pena will put up, a better challenge. I don't know if she'll make it all 5 rounds, but it'll be a little bit closer. But I don't think Pena is necessarily going to have any takedowns. I think Kayla Harrison is too strong, whether it be in the stand-up or the takedown game. She can even get herself out of bad positions. Whether she puts herself there or not, we'll find out. But even if she does, she can get out of them with her strength. I just expect Kayla Harrison to come into this fight and dominate. If it does go to a decision, I like her to win 4 rounds to 1. If someone's going to get the finish, it's likely going to be Kayla Harrison. It just seems like she's running like a train right now. And we said at the beginning, can Pena stop the train? I don't think so. I think this thing's like a locomotive. Kayla Harrison's coming for the belt. And in my opinion, she's going to get it. And she's going to do it in one of those 2 ways. But she's going to dominate everywhere to move to 1901 here and take the belt. Women's bantamweight division, co-main event at UFC 316. So real simple there. I mean, we just think Kayla Harrison is going to dominate this fight. I've seen enough. She's at the pinnacle. And what makes this so interesting is that we've seen fighters cross over. Michael Chandler, Patchy Mix is on this card as well. Michael Chandler had a chance at the title. He lost to Oliveira in a fight that he almost won, really. I mean, he almost finished the fight in both round 1 and round 2 until he didn't. But Kayla Harrison's the first one, I think, in recent times that can cross over and win the belt. And we may very well see that here if my prediction comes through. Now, as we dive into the main event, I cannot wait for this fight. I think it's a great rematch. Sometimes in the UFC, we get tired of rematches, but this one isn't an immediate rematch, right? Dvalishvili had to get through Umar Nurmagomedov. He did that pretty soundly. And of course, here we are in the rematch. But first, let's look back and see how we got here, because O'Malley had the title and then lost the belt. Check it out.
But Merab was definitely talking there the last 90 seconds. And he puts on the big wig and he's ready. Joe Rogan already ready to talk to him. Joe Rogan knows what's happening. Just give it to him. It's obvious. 49-46. 48-47. 48-47. Unanimous decision. And no. Merab sort of couldn't believe that. 2 judges, 48-47. And now Merab is breaking down a little bit. So I think all the tension is gone because now he got the belt on his waist. And he's going crazy on his knees. And you realize in that moment, okay, I just accomplished the highest level. And then he hugs Aljamain and the coaching staff and things like that. And now the love is coming in. That's what I wanted to see. That's usually what happens. That's what should happen. So Joe Rogan talking to Merab Dvalishvili, but that's the way it goes, man. I had a bad feeling this could be the possibility. We go 5-5 on the night, lose the main event, but listen, still a great night at the Sphere. Great night at the Sphere. Merab Dvalishvili is a new bantamweight champion. here at UFC 306.
Yeah, so there you have it. And you know me, I'm a big Sean O'Malley fan, big Sugar Show fan. But this is going to be the ultimate test. And he wasn't far off, right? One judge 49-46, so he lost on that one. But could have very easily got a split decision if one of those other two judges gave him another round. Both of them had to make that happen. But it's not like it's out of reach. He just has to do a little bit better in this fight. Now, as we preview the dude list, specifically Merab Dvalishvili, right now number 7. That means we should be predicting him to win, right? The tough part, though, is that we're a big Sean O'Malley fan. He's number 11, and this is a way for him to jump way up on the dude list. But in terms of tradition, we should be taking Merab Dvalishvili. But will we? Let's dive into that prediction right now. In the bantamweight division, for the bantamweight division title, you got a big rematch here between Merab Dvalishvili and Sean O'Malley at UFC 316. So let's get right into it. Of course, these guys had a previous fight. Dvalishvili really dominated that fight. He's now 19-4, holds the belt. O'Malley's looking to get it back. He's 18-2. So two guys with impressive records, as you'd expect at this level. Now, O'Malley's 5 inches taller, 5'11". He's 30, right in the prime. Dvalishvili, 34. O'Malley, 4-inch reach advantage. He's a switch stance fighter. Dvalishvili fights right-handed. In terms of activity, O'Malley's more active, 6.7 significant strikes per minute to 4.4. But the ground game for Dvalishvili is ridiculous. He lands nearly 2 takedowns per round. And since the O'Malley win, he ended up going on to beat Umar Nurmagomedov by decision. Close fight, except for the fact on the feet it was 111-104, but he had 7 takedowns to 2. Now against O'Malley head-to-head, 6 takedowns to none. So that's going to be the big question for O'Malley, who should outstrike Dvalishvili. But if you're getting taken down 6 times, you get dominated, 82-47 in significant strikes. A lot of that via the ground and pound. O'Malley just 61% takedown defense. He hasn't had a fight since beating Dvalishvili. So Merab had the fight with Umar, right? He's fighting 3 times. If you count the fight against O'Malley on September 14, 2024. This will be his 3rd fight if you include that date. So he's not taking a lot of time off. 3 fights in like 8 or 9 months. You got to respect that from the champ, who seems very confident, who came to the first press conference with the red jacket on and a baby O'Malley, if you didn't see that. So he's looking very confident. But here's the thing, is O'Malley is still not young anymore, but he's right in the prime at 30. I mean, this is the perfect age for him to try to grab the title back. And right around the new year when we were predicting UFC champions, we said O'Malley will get the belt back. He's going to wait for this fight. He's going to get this fight, or he'll fight Umar, one or the other. But we had Dvalishvili likely winning that fight. He did. So you get the big rematch now. And I just think O'Malley's going to come in and really work on the takedown defense. Is he going to get taken down? Of course. He'll probably lose 2 rounds that way, but he should win the other 3. He's also going to be more aggressive on the feet. You can't just land 47 significant strikes and walk away with the belt. It's not going to happen. So he's got to get better there. He's got to dominate significant strikes, limit the takedowns to 3 or 4, get out of 2 of them. Easier said than done. But I think he does get the job done here. In my opinion, Sean O'Malley wins the belt back by decision. And because it's April, he may have to defend it once before the end of the year. So for our prediction really to come true at the end of 2025, O'Malley's probably going to have to win 2 fights here. He's very capable of doing so. We could see a rematch if it's a close fight. But O'Malley, in my opinion, wins by decision to move to 19-2 and grab the belt back here in the bantamweight division at UFC 316. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, we have done it. We have defied our own dude list and gone totally against the grain of what's supposed to happen. Merab's number 7, O'Malley's number 11. That means we're supposed to, based on the definition of the dude list, we're supposed to take Merab. But for the first time, I'm looking toward the future. I think O'Malley wins the belt, and therefore he would obviously skyrocket way over Dvalishvili. Dvalishvili would drop out of the top 10 if that happens. But listen, this fight could go either way. I just think O'Malley getting a second opportunity and now being hungry, right? When you're the contender, you're always hungrier to get the job done. And it's not going to be easy. If you beat Dvalishvili, you really have to go after it. But that's how we see this thing going. In our opinion, of course, we'll see what happens. But for now, that'll do it. It's your boy Chris Cross. Have a great day and God bless. As always, peace.